Good afternoon. I'm Raylene Ramsey. This is your afternoon news fix for Wednesday, the 11th of October. A climate professor says a climate report revealing human influence on the environment isn't all doom and gloom. The 3-yearly update from the Ministry of Environment and Stats NZ shows the rate of extreme temperature events has doubled. The past decade has had 8 of the 10 warmest years recorded. Canterbury University Professor Adrian MacDonald says it paints a depressing picture, but global emissions have slowed.
The worst case scenarios that the IPCC was thinking about 7 or 8 years ago, they're now considered low likelihood.
Nationals leader is shutting down questions on how long it'll take to form the next government. Chris Luxon says the election hasn't happened yet and they'll work with the election results on the night. He says that time isn't here yet.
We are getting way ahead of ourselves. We're 3 days out from an election, and what I'd say to you is that New Zealanders have 3 days to determine what happens in the next 3 years.
Labour's police spokesperson has spoken at the Police Association annual conference, hitting out at the idea of boot camps for youth offenders. National wants military academies to discipline, mentor and rehabilitate the young. But Labour's Ginny Anderson says boot camps make criminals fitter, faster and more connected. She says programs to address housing, mental health, family violence and schooling are more useful.
Around 80% of those young people who have gone through that program don't go on to reoffend. And that's in stark contrast to the 80% who go to a boot camp and reoffend.
Kiwi politicians continue to speak out over the Israel-Hamas war. Green Party co-leader Marama Davidson suggested at last night's press debate government should look at designating the Israeli Defence Force a terror entity. Israel is launching counterattacks with more than 1,000 citizens dead after an attack by Hamas militants. More than 900 have died in Gaza. Prime Minister Chris Hipkins says he completely disagrees with the suggestion.
I think the Israeli military, the Israeli Defence Force are defending themselves from a very unjustified attack.
Labour's leader concedes Port Waikato's by-election could make a difference if there's a razor-thin margin after Saturday night. It's required under the Electoral Act, triggered by the death of ACT's candidate. Only party votes will be counted, with a by-election on November 25 adding an extra MP. Chris Hipkins agrees it's likely to go to the Nats after Andrew Bailey won in 2020.
At this point, it's still too early to tell what outcome it'll have on the overall election result. It probably is going to end up with National getting one more MP than they might have otherwise been entitled to.
To sport, and the A-League has identified American billionaire Bill Foley as the preferred bidder for an expansion football franchise based in Auckland. He's the owner of Premier League club AFC Bournemouth and founder of the NHL's Las Vegas Golden Knights. The New Zealand Netball Players Association have echoed the frustration of their Trans-Tasman counterparts amid ongoing disputes with Netball Australia. And All Blacks halfback Aaron Smith's playing down the impact of last year's series loss to Ireland ahead of the World Cup quarter-final. I'm Raylene Ramsey. That's your latest update, or your latest news fix, I should say. We'll be back with the next update tomorrow morning from the Newstalk ZB newsroom.